Sometimes the people we call our friends happens to be our worst enemy. Dan's hatred for AGK is to the extreme, and it is no longer hidden that Dan is envious of AGK and is willing to do everything to bring him down. This is just a call for you to be able to check your circle of friends and know exactly those people who are looking for your downfall. I just hope that Munachi's love for AGK will be able to save AGK from this doom, because karma will surely take its course as far as AGK is concerned. After what happened in the last episode, AGK actually made up his mind to go and use his house as collateral for him to get a loan. On this episode, something terrible happened. Munachi's mother, who is a seer, actually saw something that was about to happen to AGK, and because of that, she could not sleep. You remember that Munachi's mother sees a lot, but she's never had a church. But at this point, Munachi's mother is so worried because she only saw what is about to happen to AGK, but she doesn't even know what to do to avert what is about to happen to AGK. Munachi came downstairs and saw the mother sitting so lonely, thinking. When Munachi asked the mother what is going on, the mother explained to Munachi that she saw something that is about to happen to AGK. Something terrible is about to happen to AGK. And Munachi was like, Mommy, what is it? But at this point, there is nothing that Munachi can do. Even if Munachi decides to run back to AGK's house, she is not going to prevent what is about to happen. But then, if Munachi was with AGK and AGK eventually mentioned to Munachi that he's about to use the house for collateral, I think Munachi is going to fight against this, and maybe, just maybe, this whole thing might be averted. But then it's so unfortunate that Munachi is not there, and AGK has also made up his mind to sign up the deal. And even Chingu also overheard the conversation that something bad is about to happen to AGK. But it's so shocking how Chingu has changed all of a sudden. She also has compassion towards AGK now. She's even praying that something should not happen to AGK, that she knows by her very self that she's bitter towards AGK, and she's not also happy that AGK treated her bad. But at this point, she doesn't even want something bad to happen to AGK. This is what happens to someone who has made up his mind to take away bitterness from your heart. Because if you allow bitterness to stay in your heart for a very long time, you no longer see the good side of people. But then when you make up your mind to let go of some things, it allows you to see the good side and wish people well, so that good things can also locate you. But then Munachi ran into the room and was like, oh, I have to go back. I have to go back to AGK right now. But then when Chingu came to ask Munachi, when you eventually leave this place and run to AGK's house, what are you going to do to stop the evil that is about to happen to AGK? But then Munachi made mention of the fact that Chingu doesn't like AGK, which is true. But then Chingu is a changed person, and the way she handled this whole thing even made it better, because she also told Munachi that I know that you already see me as someone who hates AGK, but the truth is I do not want bad thing to happen to AGK. There is a reason why your mother brought you to this house. Your mother brought you to this house so that you can actually be far away from the evil that is about to happen to AGK. Because if you are with him, this whole thing is going to rub up on you so bad. That is why your mother brought you here. So don't run back to AGK, because even if you go there, there's nothing you will do to stop it, Munachi. Remember that Kama doesn't lose his address. AGK has done a lot to his parents, and in fact, the thing that is about to happen to AGK is something that nobody can stop. So at this point, Munachi just have to give way so that this whole thing, because if she gets involved, she will be part of this doom and nobody will be there to save AGK. So the only way that AGK will be saved is if Munachi stays away from him so that she can be able to save AGK. AGK actually make this great call that he's ready for him to sign up a deal. But then, while AGK called down that he's about to go to sign this deal, Chingu met with Andy and was explaining to Andy that she is tired of bitterness. She's tired of the way she's living her life. In fact, she has lived her life for so long, hating people and all that it's about time that she wants to let go of the bitterness in her heart. But the thing is, she's looking for someone to talk to, but she doesn't even know. Andy was so excited that Chingu has actually made a good choice after a very long time to actually see somebody so that she can, talk to somebody that will give her great advice to take her out of this bondage of bitterness. Andy assured Chingu that it is a good choice. In fact, this is the best thing that Chingu has said in a very long time, that he's going to make sure he brings the best therapists that will listen to Chingu and also advise Chingu so that she can be free from this bitterness completely and give herself a chance to be loved and good people to come around her. Ejike, on his way to sign this deal using his house as a collateral, I think that Dan actually set up Ejike. At first, I was thinking that Ejike is about to set up Dan to see the person that Dan truly is. But I think Ejike has never doubted anything coming from Dan. Rather, Dan set up an ambush to actually attack Ejike and kidnap him. With no doubt, Dan is behind this kidnap. Ejike was driving and somebody crossed the road and some other guys actually attacked Ejike and covered his head, put him in his vehicle and drove him to an unknown location. But then Dan immediately ran to Munachi just to prove that he is a good friend. But we all know that Dan is behind this kidnap that has happened to Ejike. Dan immediately ran to Munachi's house. But then the mother has warned Dan not to come to his house. So when she saw Dan entering his house, she was like, "What are you doing in my house? Why are you in my house? What are you doing here?" And Dan was trying to explain that where is Munachi? She wants to only see but Munachi. That Munachi, something bad has happened and we want to see Munachi now. But when Munachi came out, Dan actually told Munachi that Ejike was kidnapped last night. And Munachi could not help it. She said, "What?" At this point, Munachi even fainted because this is the confirmation of what the mother told her yesterday that was going to happen to Ejike. Remember, the mother saw something bad that is about to happen to Ejike. This is a confirmation. When Munachi fainted, the mother was crying and was begging Munachi to wake up, that Ejike has not been killed. In fact, they had to turn the whole story around so that Munachi can wake up because she cannot faint. She cannot die right now because you know the love Munachi has for Ejike. Munachi loved Ejike to death. So if anything eventually happened to Ejike, Munachi cannot take it. So the mother was begging. But Dan was shouting, no, this is not time for you to faint. This is time for us to take action. Ejike has been kidnapped, so we need to do something to bring him back. This is not time for you to faint. Can you imagine? Dan has never liked Munachi from the beginning. So I was not even expecting anything less. And then they have to take Munachi into the house so that she can actually rest in her room while they know how to bring Ejike out of this whole mess. But then while Andy ran in, Rita and the mother, they were all trying to come up with a plan on how to bring Ejike out. But then we all know that Dan is behind this whole thing. And they asked Dan, when you say they called you, what did they say? But Dan actually said that they never said anything. They just told him that Ejike has been kidnapped, so they will call him back. So they are waiting for the call. But then Andy told Dan that they are actually going to wait for the call so that they will know what to do from here. But then, while they were speaking, the mother asked, "What do they want?" And Dan immediately said that, "Is it not ransom? That is ransom that these people want, nothing else." And then Rita was like, "Ransom at this bad economy? How are they going to raise money for them to be able to do this?" Now, Dan is about to extort money from Munachi and the mother, just in the name of Ejike. And I know that the money that Ejike is going to get from the bank is what Dan is after. I think Dan is really after Ejike's downfall. The question is, what has Ejike done to Dan that he is so bitter towards Ejike, he wants him to fall and lose everything that he has? Ejike has only been a good friend to this Dan and Andy and others. So why do you want him to fall? Why do you want him to lose everything that he has? May God not allow us to have bad and evil friends around us, that our eyes are not even open to see that all that they want from us is for us to fall down and never rise up again. Please, if you have not liked the video, like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you are new here, I will bring the next episode as soon as it drops. But for now, take care.